Hello, one and all. I bid thee fine fellows, hail and well met. This is my really lame attempt at Shakespeare talk, because apparently it's Shakespeare Day. Talk like Shakespeare Day. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm going to look up some details. Why is it? I'm assuming it's reputed to be his birthday. Shakespeare. Oh, wait. I'm going to spell it right. It's spelled silly. Incidentally, they used to make up the spelling. Okay. Shakespeare Day, April 23. That's today. Shakespeare Day. April 23rd. It's also St. George's Day, big day for England. No one really knows the exact date of his birth, although he was baptized on April 26th, died on April 23rd. Okay, it's the anniversary of his death. Some believe he was also born on April 23rd, although birth dates were generally not recorded in his time, only your baptism, because you didn't exist. Okay, so April 23rd was the date of Shakespeare's death and possibly his birth. Who knows? Be somewhere around there. And I'm sorry, I need to say good evening. Megaleech, Luke, Don't Trust Society, who are in the chat. AIDzee is, in fact, going to join us. He is just setting up some technical things, and it actually looks like it's going to work tonight. And I just remembered something dumb. I might disappear for a second, but I'll be back. And if I don't come back, refresh your browser because I'm just going off Wi-Fi. Yeah, I think that, maybe there's no, are you waving at me, boy? Are you waving at me? Or are you doing something else? Hello, Annette. How are you? Okay, you're waving at me. He's doing a dance. He's doing a dance. How's it going, buddy?
It's going really good, except I like this angle from my head, but I don't like it from my chest. It makes me look like I've got gynecomastia.
It's not a flattering angle, and we are seeing a lot of people in this strange time we're in. I don't know if you've seen it on the media, the number of people who are being interviewed on their webcams at home, and they're not raising the laptop to eye level, so it's down at that angle. And there's been some very weird shots of some very famous people doing interviews on TV with that incredibly, oh my God, that is a disgusting angle. Do you want to finish eating and come back? Because I'm not joking, that was disgusting. As an angle for you eating, that was just like super gross. No, you're going away. You are going away, you animal. Oh, see, okay, I see what you're doing there. That actually looked far less disgusting, actually. That actually worked. That was far less disgusting what you did then. Look. He's like the trained animals at the zoo. He's going to do a special feeding for us. No, you can eat your food. You can eat your food. I'm just saying that angle. Yeah, okay, you animal. Yes.
Fine.
That angle was particularly gross.
In a burst of humour and joy today, especially since I had my humour and joy burst out from under me today.
Oh, good Lord. That sounds worrying.
At 8:30 this morning.
All right. Was this the a somewhat boisterous person? All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to say hi to Rob and Justin. Hey, I don't know. Do you see chat? Because AIDzee is on his phone at the moment. Do you see chat comments or anything go by when you are looking at it on the phone?
Me?
Yes, you. You are the only one I'm talking to.
Well, I often you are talking to other people's and not me.
Yeah.
I'm in the show. I'm talking to AIDzee. I'm talking angry. I'm talking alive. I'm talking to.
It's not a big deal. I'm just asking, do you see the chat?
I'm seeing if I see the chat. And there's the chat. Live comments. I now see the chat.
Oh, cool.
I just don't see you.
You don't see what?
Now I just don't see you. So now I see you. Options. I want to send as automatic done.
Look, how about don't stress? I don't want to get bogged down in technical things. I'll tell you anything anyone says in chat, and you can choose to respond or not. How about that?
Okay.
Yep.
That.
Okay. I don't know how this is going. I thought we were going okay technically, and it's starting to break up a lot. But we'll soldier on because we're soldiers who soldier on. We won't let we might let something stop us, but you know we're going to put a decent effort in. Is what I'm saying. You look like you're having a concerning time fiddling with something. You just sent me a message. Okay.
Well, I had like, you know, live comments going, and then you said turn them off and come back to you, and I went, all right, I'll do that. And then I went and butterized around, and then they wouldn't go away.
Right.
And now they wouldn't go away. So now I'm coming back to go, look, go away. I want something else. And then they went away.
Well, what are you most comfortable with? Seeing me on video or seeing chat?
Seeing you on video.
All right. So see if you can sort it out, and then we won't mess around with it because I don't want to get bogged down in technical things. Doesn't make for the most scintillating viewing for our loving audience.
Okay. All right. I'm trying it now.
Yeah.
He's standing down now. He should be talking around and around. He should be back. He should have loved. He should have survived. He should have never said I have no fucking idea how to get back to where I'm going, but I'm going to do it because I can. Go there.
All right. Look, you just covered up your camera.
What?
I'm not sure. Not sure. Good evening, Abigail, by the way. Nice to see you. Now we've gone dark and silent. Okay, I'm really hoping that you stop buggerizing around. How many times you heard that, eh? No more buggering? Hey. Good evening to you, Stella. I found some blood orange juice at the supermarket, and I've mixed it with lemonade, and it's still really bloody. It's a really I should make a cocktail with it. Yes, AIDzee's alive and having some sort of technical difficulty. Good evening, Lee. I really hope we just get somewhere with that. I'm thinking because it's Shakespeare Day, what does Difford say is a Shakespeare cocktail? A Merchka, honey, 2 spoons thereof, an Italian red aperitivo, lemon juice, and egg white. I'm sure that goes by other names as well. I could make that a Merchant of Venice. I've got a very nice Italian red aperitif. I've got Aperol, but I've got another one as well, the cherry one. I don't have honey, but I'll just use the stuff I normally use. In fact, the what was agave? Why do I always forget what it's called? Agave syrup. Brain go bad. Hey, Petty Wallaby, how are you? Okay, guys, anybody mere happenstance? Yeah. Wait, he's got me on the phone. What you doing?
Hi.
I thought I'd come back and say hi.
Okay, what's happening in your world?
Oh, so much. Everything I can see on your phone, I can see on my phone.
Ah.
Which is nice.
Oh, look, you're an angel, AIDzee. You've got a little halo.
I know, right? I'm an angel. I've got a little halo. And you know why I've got a little halo?
Because you're
I'm good all the time.
Yeah.
I never, ever eat the last biscuit.
I'm just kind of amused I can't keep the halo steady. Wait, no, I've got it. There he is.
I might, suck the cock of the individual who ate the last biscuit, but I don't eat the last biscuit.
That's anyway. Put you up here a bit, and so you're having some form of technical difficulty at your end.
Oh, and how? And it gets better and better. You and I are definitely going to have that get together and chat.
Okay.
Because it's not going to work otherwise.
Okay, fair call.
I'm going to ask he who is boss of the house.
Yeah.
When he comes over tomorrow, to ask nicely, please, could you please
make the laptop work?
Laptop go. And he's going to look at me with his crunched up face that he's trying to be mean, but it looks cute as ever. You know the one I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
And if I'm really in trouble, he'll make the fucking backing arms.
I see. All right, so this is all by way of letting the loving audience know that we're not really going to have you on the stream, I guess.
Well, you're going to have me on the stream, but you're just going to have to describe what's going on because I don't fucking read the stream.
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay. All right, so when you're ready, come back on the thing and forget all about the chat and stuff, and we'll just chat, and I'll tell you of anything pertinent that happens in chat. How about that?
Loving it.
All righty.
The fucking get out of it.
All right.
It happens the same way every week as it does anyway.
Exactly. So it was my foolish thing telling you to go and find the chat. We'll forget about that. I'll let you get reset up, and we'll bring you back on the stream when you're jolly good and ready.
Occasionally, you'll see AIDzee's sip from his very space age wine bottle.
Yes, it is a wine bottle.
It's a space age wine bottle. It's a thing that I am forced to do by my practitioners of medical science.
Oh yes.
And I must do them at least 4 boxes an hour, I'd say.
Do you get Medicare subsidies on that?
Close to it. Close to it.
All right, I'm going to leave you to that, and when you're ready, reconnect, and we'll keep the people entertained. But I will say bye.
Well,
and see.
I can do both.
All right, see you in a bit. All right, so AIDzee is going to come back when he gets a few things sorted. That was portable AIDzee. I would have kept him like that, but my arm was getting really tired holding up the phone, basically. Too much like physical activity. So I'm thinking I have no idea how long, the isolation thing is going to go on for, how long I'm going to be working from home. I figured I'm not going to trim my beard the whole time. Up until the point Mrs. Angry gets annoyed with me doing that, and then I'll probably trim it. But it's been much longer than this in the past. I am trimming the moustache. I'm keeping it off my top lip because it's really gross when the moustache grows past your top lip. And I am trimming the sides. I actually shaved this bit and this bit because, style. I might recolor it. You can see how gray it is. It's like if I hide that bit, It's like that's really the color of my beard, essentially. But you can see a little bit of the latent color hanging out there. Might recolor my beard because I'm a very vain person. Stella, was that sulfur hexafluoride? I bet he wishes it was sulfur hexafluoride rather than supermarket grade nitrous oxide. Oh, nice. Abigail, forsooth. It was with much merriment that I watched Sir AIDzee in his troubles technology, for I'm an expert in such. I swear to God, Abigail, as soon as I get the money, I'm going to hire you as a technical consultant. Well, and also when isolation stuff is over, those two things have to happen. I have to have more money, and we have to not be in isolation. But it's just our world at the moment. The future is weird and unknown. You live too far away, Lee. Abigail's local. Yeah, my current contract, for I am indeed a contract worker, runs to the end of June. And because it's with government department and their budget runs to June, and the state government's not going to have a new budget for a while. So, in fact, my whole little team that I work with are contractors. We're doing a very specific thing. All finish at the end of June, and no one expects. Nobody expects the contracts to be extended past June just because of the way the government budget works. And I think most, if not, I think most of the isolation stuff will still be in effect at the end of June, which is going to make looking for another job potentially quite interesting, because workplaces may have slowed down. They may not be doing the hiring, be more difficult to hire and onboard someone. So I don't know what is going to happen. It is strange and interesting times we live in. Well, Abigail, there's payment and there's payment. And look, for little casual things, because we're pals, I mean, sure, you want to be paid to help me with some little things, make you a cocktail or two. And, that's like Australian barter currency, helps someone move house, and the payments, slab a beer. But no, I was talking seriously. There's a few people I know, like if I won lotto or something, I'd be hiring a few people who are very good at things they do. So, Justin, how long could I go without a job? Well, interestingly, I qualify if my income stops. I qualify for that job whatever allowance, because I am a proprietary limited. I am both a proprietary limited company, a director of said company, and employee of said company. And as employee of said company, director of said company, both of whom happen to be me, is entitled to claim from the government that $1,500 it's $1,500 a fortnight, isn't it? It's not $1,500 a week, $1,500 a fortnight. I think that's what it is. I've registered for it, but yeah, you have to JobKeeper. Thank you, Lee. And I qualify for that. So if I had no job after June, I could easily survive to the end of the year, no drama at all. Abigail is way into the Shakespeare talk, which is perfect for tonight. Payment supplied in elixirs and libations suits me well, sir. Plus, it would just be fun to hang out with elixirs and libations. Which is about being recluses, happy not to speak to neighbors. Yes. Okay, see, I'm in a groove too. I mean, I'm not completely antisocial, but I don't go out much. It was mostly about, family, and I was interacting with people online more often than not. Every now and then, I'd organize meetups for local YouTubers. Robot Man Greg, you want to be a fly on the wall for my board meeting? Yeah, well, I have regular meetings with HR to complain about my boss because he keeps watching porn on my computer and it's unacceptable. So those are some testimony. Yes, I could imagine missing family being a thing for a lot of people. But yeah, no, most of the time I stayed at home. It was a family. I miss not being able to go out to the movies and do date nights with Mrs. Angry, but we improvise with date nights. I've got the yawns have got me again. That's bad. The yawns. So yes, Lee, yes, we met at one of the YouTube meetups. Ooh, Justin, you've got a translated version of Macbeth. And Catherine, you've got complete works. That's nice. Stella, yes, my boss sexually harasses me, touches me inappropriately. That's as much as I'm willing to say because there's legal proceedings happening. I looked up prior to starting that collection of Shakespeare insults, which I quite like. There's this one, oops, wrong page. This one from All's Well That Ends Well, one of the comedies. A most notable coward, an infinite and endless liar, an hourly promise breaker, the owner of no one good quality. I believe that's about Scott Morrison. So, oh my God, Nick barely gone out since 2003. Yikes. Oh, Pity Wallaby, that's an excellent date night. Playing Mario Kart. I love it. Good evening to you, Safa. So another Shakespeare insult from Henry IV. So one of the histories, a more serious work. Away, you starveling, you elf skin, you dried neat's tongue, bull's pizzle, you stock fish. Or this one. Away, you 3-inch fool. Not sure if that's a penis reference. It's from The Taming of the Shrew, so that would fit. Another one from The Taming of the Shrew. Come, come, you froward and unable worms. No, some of them hit harder than others. And from Macbeth, the Scottish play. Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. That's calling someone a coward, basically. Oh, love this one from Henry IV. His wit's as thick as Tewkesbury mustard. That's a nice, simple one. I like that. Oh, God. Justin is telling me Kevin Rudd's book starts with a Shakespeare quote in each chapter. He's a fucking wanker. Yes, Stella, I'm with you and Homer Simpson. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now it's all scary. More Shakespeare insults from Hamlet. This one's someone's talking about themselves. I am pigeon-livered and lack gall. That's apparently part of his to be or not to be speech. And from A Midsummer Night's Dream, I am sick when I do look on thee. In other words, you make me sick. Looking at you makes me sick. From another comedy, As You Like It. I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Which I believe is just saying, you're really fucking ugly. If someone offers to marry you, do it because you're not going to get many offers. And from Hamlet, if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. That's someone with a not very good attitude about marriage, honestly. Oh, I like this one from Timon of Athens. I'd beat thee, but I would infect my hands. Modern terms, I'd slap you, but I'd get some gross disease. Safra, I'm not only not going to buy the Turnbull book, I'm not going to read reviews or analysis of the Turnbull book. I'm not going to read the Turnbull book if someone gives me a free copy of it. I have no interest in that self-serving fucking wanker whatsoever. Oh, Alexia, Justin, you get Alexa to read the book for me. That is a good plan. I like that. Okay, more insults from Henry IV. I scorn you, you scurvy companion. That's pretty mild. And from All's Well That Ends Well. Methinks thou art a general offence, and every man should beat thee. That's a bit mean. Oh, I like this one from Coriolanus. That's slightly difficult to say, Coriolanus. More of your conversation would infect my brain. I think the modern one is everyone's more stupid for having heard what you said. In The Winter's Tale, my wife's a hobby horse, which I think suggests his wife's sleeping around. Now, this one's just straightforward from Henry IV again. Peace, ye fat guts. That's just, yeah. And then you get one of the more colorful ones like this one from Richard III. Poisonous bunch-backed toad. That's a good one. And then when he really piles it on from the Merry Wives of Windsor, thou rankest compound of villainous smell that ever offended nostril. Yeah, you smell bad. You stink. Oh. Read the blood orange juice. Shakespeare quotes. The tartness of his face sours ripe grapes. I think as people say things like that, got a face that had turned wine sour. So there's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune. Ooh, that's a colourful analogy. Or this one from The Tempest. Thine forward voice now is to speak well of thine friend. Thine backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. Which, again, in modern language, I think he's saying, out in the open, you say good things about people, but in secret, you just talk shit. You're a shit talker. I like that. Or another one from Henry IV. That trunk of humours, that bolting hutch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that roasted Manningtree ox with pudding in his belly, that reverend vice, that grey iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity of years. So you've got a very, 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 very strong opinion of someone there. Absolutely is, Justin, reading is good for you. And look, getting your reading from audiobooks is perfectly valid. Adele, good evening to you. I'm just reading Shakespeare insults. Thy face is not worth sunburning. I think that's like birds fly upside down when they go by you because you're not worth shitting on. He's got a few insults for women. That woman's an easy glove, my lord. She goes on and off at pleasure. Ooh. And then the short one. Thou art a boil, a plague sore. From King Lear. Or from Measure for Measure. Was the Duke a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward? It's pretty mild compared to some of the others. Another Henry IV one. Thou art as fat as butter. Yes, this is quality content, Adele. Shakespeare insults. Big Pat, Wrestling Days. How you doing, buddy? Where are we up to? Fat as butter. From Titus Andronicus. Here is the babe, as loathsome as a toad. That is an ugly baby, is what they're saying. Like the toad. Well, there are quite a few of them about toads. Like the toad, ugly and venomous. Or from Richard III. Thou art unfit for any place but hell. Some of them are not that brutal. They're pretty direct. Or one from Macbeth. Thou cream-faced loon. Here we go. When he threads them together, this is another one from Henry IV where they thread them together. Thou clay-brained guts, thou knotty-pated fool, thou whoreson obscene greasy tallow catch. That's the real deal there. That's the real deal. I'm good, Big Pat. I'm reading Shakespeare insults, and that's always a good way to be. And hello to you too, Lane Spider. Catherine, pick a number between 1 and 1250. Copy a Shakespeare quote from that page. Okay. Relive my heavy metal days. 666. Get something off page 666. Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number, and his number is 666. And then the guitar kicks in. Yeah, that's the sort of music I listened to as a teenager. Not that inventive. Okay, so more Shakespeare insults. Ooh, from Henry V. Thou damned and luxurious mountain goat. Luxurious is an insult, is it? Ooh, that's new on me. Well, this is a more obvious insult from Richard III. Thou elvish marked abortive rooting hog. So elvish marked is used more than once. That obviously meant something. Like the Fae did something to make you deformed or ugly or something. Henry IV is full of some angry words, like this one. Thou leather jerkin, crystal button, not pated, a gatoring, puke stocking, caddis garter, smooth tongue, Spanish pouch. Oh, Lee, you sound like you watch QI. QI's full of shit. Thou lump of foul deformity. Speaking of QI, yeah, another toad one. Thou poisonous bunchback toad from Richard III. From Trollus and Cressida. Thou sodden-witted lord, thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. That says it all, really. Or from the Gentlemen of Verona, Two Gentlemen of Verona. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. That only hurts if you want people to think you're honest, really. Oh, this is the one I always remember from King Lear. Call someone thou whoreson Z, thou unnecessary letter. Deciding Z is an unnecessary letter in the alphabet, and that's a really good insult to say to someone. They're like the letter Z. Totally, totally unnecessary. Or from Measure for Measure, thy sin's not accidental but a trade. Yeah, someone's a professional sinner. Ooh, Cymbeline. See, I'm not even sure this one's an insult. It's just a recognition of someone being biting. Thou tongue out venoms all the worms of Nile. Yeah, I don't know if that's even a bad one. Oh, this is a good one, though. Timon of Athens. Would thou wert clean enough to spit on? It's like, I'd spit on you, but you're already too gross. Pity Willoughby, you're getting snow. Wow. Yeah, because you're supposed to be coming into spring and summer, yeah? We're into autumn, moving into winter. Although we've had a few days in the 20s in the last week, so quite pleasant. There's been a lot of cloud and a little bit of rain as well. Big Pat, been watching Damie Lou's TikTok. Haven't been able to get into TikTok, really. I mean, I've seen some good videos of it, but I can't be bothered going to it. Oh, here's Catherine's quote from page 666 of the Complete Works of Shakespeare. If it be aught the old tune, my lord, it is as fat and fulsome to mine ear as howling after music. And that's Olivia from Twelfth Night. Twelfth Night's one of the good ones. Yes, Stella, I think that other one, the equivalent was I wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire. Would thou wouldst burst. That's just very simple. Ooh, Henry IV has so much angry talk in it. These next four are all from Henry IV. You poor, base, rascally, cheating, lack-linen mate. You are as a candle, the better burnt out. You scullion, you rampallion, you fustelarian, I'll tickle your catastrophe. That sounds a bit rude, quite honestly. Oh, God, this is just another big run-on one. I love it. You starveling, you eelskin, you dried neat's tongue, you bull's pizzle, you stock fisher breath to utter what it is like thee, you tailor's yard, you sheath, you bow case, you vile standing tuck. Now, here's the thing. There's been a couple that have referred to a sheath or a pouch. I think that was slang at his time for calling someone a cunt. I'm reasonably confident of that, actually. This is a comparatively clean one from As You Like It. Your brain is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage. I quite like that one. This one's just weird. I don't get how this is an insult. It's just weird. From All's Well That Ends Well. Virginity breeds mites, much like a cheese. We're saying that virgins have bugs on them? Is that what we're saying? And this is like from the modern day internet. Titus Andronicus. Villain, I have done thy mother. Literally, I fucked your mum. Oh, Strictly Sega, it is Shakespeare Day. It's April 23rd is the recorded date of Shakespeare's death, and a lot of people think it was also possibly when he was born, because he was baptized on the 26th. Justin, I have read reports that there is less pollution because of the lockdowns, which makes perfect sense, because there must be just huge amounts less fuel being burnt. That's what I thought, Petty Wallaby. Non-virgins are more likely to have bugs. The bug. This is, Strictly Sega asking what I'm drinking. Blood orange juice. I just saw it at the supermarket. Thought, ooh, that looks cool. And this is half lemonade, and it's still a very rich color. So, might make a cocktail with it. Might also, speaking of Shakespeare, there's a Merchant of Venice cocktail. There's vodka, honey. I do have honey, but I'll probably just use the agave syrup. Aperol or other red aperitivo, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and an egg white. So that's going to be like a foamy. I suppose the sweetener and the aperitivo might balance the other, because the Italian red aperitivo is very bitter. Honey might balance out, so it's like a. And then you got the sour from the lemon, so it's sweet, sour, bitter, foamy vodka. That actually sounds like a pretty nice drink. But is there a cocktail? I'll bet there are heaps. If I just look up Shakespeare cocktail, Shakespeare cocktails, Shakespeare think cocktails to celebrate the bard's birthday. That sounds about right, because that's what today possibly is. Hey, David, how you doing? Stella, you're watching a doco on English evolution of accents, started performing accents that we had at the time. Oh, there's a bunch more dirty. Oh, Shakespeare's filthy. Even the comedies are obviously filthy, but even the serious plays are filthy as hell. I did a bit of Shakespeare at uni, and we would really play up the filthy jokes. My favorite was, I think it was in Twelfth Night, the one where the twin, male and female twin, are running around. But they're trying to set one guy up to think a particular lady is sending him love letters because they want to humiliate him, and so they fake her handwriting, and they're apparently very good at faking her handwriting. And he goes, "Oh, definitely, this is from my lady. I recognize her hand. For surely this be her C's, her U's, and her T's." And in case you missed what they were doing there, one of the characters eavesdropping repeats the lines, her C, her U, and her T. So he's saying C-U-N-T. He knows what a cunt looks like. So that's one of the more subtle ones. I mean, Macbeth, very serious play, but there's this whole sequence with the gatekeeper letting someone in. And he's like, "Oh, there, we got pissed last night. We got so pissed. Fucking hell, man. Dude, I've got a hangover. Stop knocking on the door so loudly." And he's just going, "It was a good night. It was a good night." Yeah, isn't drinking good? Because you like get really horny. You think, "I could fuck her." And you're going, yeah, I want to fuck her. But then you're too drunk and you can't get up. The actual line is, the drink, it sets us up and it puts us down. It's like you get really horny and you think you're going to score, but then you can't get it up. Catherine, you saw I haven't seen that one yet. The Shakespeare All Is True with Kenneth Branagh playing the bard. He's in retirement, isn't he? Judi Dench. I assume Judi Dench is playing his wife because his wife was much older than him. David, you see French experts testing nicotine patches. They found people who smoke are less likely to contract COVID-19. Nicotine might be the reason. Okay, that sounds crazy pants, because what they'd been saying before is smoking damages your lungs. Smokers who get the corona are actually more likely to have serious complications. But we don't know. It's worth exploring. What's the harm in putting nicotine patches on people? It's just an addictive poison. What's the harm? What's the harm in getting people hooked on nicotine, really? Yes. Because we don't know anything. There's so much we don't know about this virus. So we have to try things like that. Oh, yes, Catherine, he is retired and Judi Dench plays his wife. Okay, cool. Yeah, David, you're vaping nicotine. Yes, it is a poison. But they're trying all sorts of things. They're looking at the sort of complications people who get the Rona display, and they go, okay, what medication do we have that treats that sort of symptom? And that's why they've been trying anti-malarials and all these other ones. So they've just looked at the symptoms that people who have complications get, and they've looked at the type of things that are killing people, and they go, okay, we don't have anything to deal with the COVID-19 specifically, but okay, patients are displaying these symptoms. So what can we try that we've used to treat similar symptoms? Pat, my cat is good. I don't know why she's not here now, man, because early today when I was working and I was on a meeting call, she jumped up in my lap. She was really happy to sit in my lap for about half an hour while I was in a meeting, but she was fairly quiet, so no one knew. Do you want to come up here, Mimsy? Mrs. Angry heard me saying Mimsy wasn't here, so she actually pushed her in the door. Going to come up here? No? No? What you doing, silly? Or on your perch? Your perch? You want to get on your perch? Or are you just going to ignore me? Going to ignore me? Going to come up on your perch. Come up and say hello to everyone. Yes, okay, sharpen your claws. Go, what are you doing? I don't even know what you're doing. Well, there you are. Meow. What are you doing? You can come up here. Meow. Come up here. Meow. Yes, she's going to come up here. Come on. No, yes, maybe. She's so moody. Ugh. Okay. Oh, yes. I've seen, yeah, they used to think there were two strains and one was worse than the other. They really don't know. And that's the thing. These influenza bugs do fucking mutate. Dave, you've got to shoot the people who have, if you want to keep the reported death toll down, shoot people who have COVID-19, because then technically they didn't die of COVID-19. That's like the opposite of what those lunatic conspiracy theorists say, because cats love moobs, Megaleech. Cats love moobs. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you get these idiot conspiracy theories. These people aren't dying of coronavirus. Just if people die in hospital or anything, they're saying it's coronavirus. Like, that person died of pneumonia. That person died of, and it's like, shut the fuck up, you idiots. It's, yes, the people have the coronavirus, and there are a number of things you can die from because you got the COVID-19, and it's just, I don't know. It's pointless trying to explain to these people why they're wrong because they're colossal fucking idiots, basically. Anyway, I was going to look at Shakespeare-themed cocktails. What are these ones? The Macbeth, Belladonna's Bridegroom. Ooh, that looks cool. What's in it? Blood orange. Maybe I could do this. A whiskey glass. Bitters. Whiskey. Oh, God, it's a fucking old-fashioned. With brown sugar. It's just an old-fashioned. It's brown sugar, bitters, and whiskey. It's just an old-fashioned. Fucking clowns. Puck's Fizz. Okay, it's a fizzy one. I don't like fizzy ones. Sugar Cube, Cognac, and Champagne. Bottled Spider. It's a fucking... Oh, okay. No, it's whiskey and Kahlua and espresso. Hate coffee. Okay, for Romeo and Juliet, the Mercutio Mojito. So this is rum, Cointreau, creme de cassis, and topped with lemonade. Creme de cassis is... I always forget what these French words mean. Look it up. What flavor is creme de cassis? Is sweet, dark red, blackcurrant. There you go, blackcurrant. Well, I've got the creme de mure, blackberry thing. I could improvise that. The screwdriver for taming of the shrew. Vodka, orange juice, and Tabasco. It's not even, it's just screwdriver with Tabasco sauce. Cassie is blackcurrant. Thank you, Petit Wallaby. Yeah, it's unfortunate, David. And again, commiserations on the passing of your mum, which is also just a reminder that even as we're all suitably weirded out by the whole COVID-19 thing, both life and death continue as normal. Other things don't suspend for it. So those Shakespeare-themed cocktails were, let's be honest, shit. Okay, BuzzFeed. Much a woo-woo about nothing. There is actually a drink called a woo-woo. So it's vodka, peach schnapps, cranberry. That sounds like it sucks. Puck's Fizz. The other people had that. Top with champagne. Taming of the Screwdriver. Okay, they're trying to make puns. It's just vodka and orange juice. What's this one? Oh, Cleopolitan. Citrus, Cointreau, that's just a Cosmo. Okay, BuzzFeed, you suck. You absolutely suck. Pink Lady. Yeah, no. These are just existing things. What's a Bloody Tomorrow? I like that name. Vodka and grenadine. Okay. Key Royale. No, okay, BuzzFeed, you suck balls. Not in a good way. Okay. I'm going to find a decent Shakespeare cocktail. True, Petit Wallaby. I should have remembered I had a French speaker on hand. Okay. Bard at the Bar. The Drowning Ophelia. Well, that's a good name. Egg white, dustingish. So it's orange, blue, curacao, elderflower. I've got blue vodka. Elderflower. Juliet's emojito. Emoji. Mojito. Sugar, lime, rum. Yeah, it's just a mojito. Screwdriver. Well, at least they made it different. It's not just vodka and orange. It's limoncello, lemon-flavored vodka, orange juice, lemon bitters, lemon wedge. At least it's a little bit different. Motley Fool. Oh, gross. That's a fucking soup. No, okay, those were also shit. I'm going to give up on these, I think. The whole Shakespeare cocktails. Shakespeare cocktails. Yeah, no, those are shit. Okay, so I might potentially do this Merchant of Venice one from Difford's because it sounds kind of interesting. Vodka, sweetener, red aperitivo, lemon juice, and egg white. I like egg white drinks, very foamy. That was a lot of lemon in that recipe, Petty Wallaby. They might have been overdoing it, quite honestly. Right. Difford's Guide, cocktails, the Field Marshal. Cocktail by ingredient. I want to make the video with an interesting bourbon whiskey. Got to decide on one, and I might do the make a video thing in the live stream. I don't want an old-fashioned. Wait, Enrico Palazzo. I think I looked that up. I did this the other night, I admit. So Enrico Palazzo is bourbon, vermouth, aperitivo, gentian. What's a gentian liqueur? Is that related to gin? I'm going to find out what's gentian liqueur. It's an Italian aperitivo. What does gentian taste like? Bright yellow, taste on the bittersweet. Okay, I could change. I've got coffee Americano. I could do that. So I could make an Enrico Palazzo with bourbon, vermouth, my red aperitivo, the cherry one, coffee Americano, and bitters. I don't have grapefruit bitters, but I have other citrus bitters. In the style of I suppose that is in the style of a Manhattan, actually. It's got a few extra things, but it is in the style of it's a Manhattan with extras, basically. That's and I just love the name Enrico Palazzo. That's from the Naked Gun movie. The opera singer who was meant to sing the national anthem was named Enrico Palazzo. And Frank Drebin knocked him out and took his place and went out and sang really badly. And where Enrico Palazzo was tied up but could see a TV and was crying because there's this guy out there singing really badly in the TV saying it's Enrico Palazzo. And the joke came back when Frank Drebin saved the day at the end of the baseball match. Everyone's like, ooh. And then one guy stands up and points and goes, oh, it's Enrico Palazzo. And that's how that guy was listed in the credits. He didn't have a character name. He just had his one line. It's Enrico Palazzo. Which I would say. And he ended up becoming more famous. I can't think who it was. But I think he ended up becoming more famous after that. I don't know. Might do an Enrico Palazzo. I'm sure I looked at all these the other day. Why don't I? There's so many bourbon things. I'm just going to jump way down the list. A rattlesnake. Oh, I made an Australian version of a rattlesnake once. Called it a taipan. So it's bourbon, lemon, sugar syrup, absinthe. Oh no. I wouldn't have changed that. So that is kind of like a Sazerac with egg white. It's a lighter version of a Sazerac. No, I won't make that one. A rhinestone cowgirl. That is such a great name. Like a rhinestone cowgirl. A sealback. I'm sure I've seen a seal. Oh, it's a champagne one. No, gross. Don't want champagne cocktails. The Democrat. This ought to be funny, actually. What's the Democrat called? Bourbon, creme de pêche, so a peach liqueur, honey sugar syrup. Yeah, that sounds really quite boring. Actually, it'd probably be okay. The GTO cocktail. What's in a GTO? Bourbon, amaretto, lemon juice, and pineapple juice. My God, that would be a sweet drink. No, not going to do that one. Whiskey tea highball, whiskey daisy. What's in a whiskey daisy? Bourbon, triple sec, grenadine. Oh, that's a possibility. And there's also a whiskey daisy number 2, which is bourbon, honey sugar, Grand Marnier, squeezed lemon juice, soda. I like a whiskey daisy number 1. Wow. Another champagne one. Creamy, dirty bananas. A 4th of July cocktail. What's in here? Bourbon, Galliano, which I don't know, cinnamon, coffee liqueur. Yep, no, cream. Don't have to put cream, I think. Oh no, what did I do? No, I'm still here. That's cool. A dingo. Oh no, a dingo ate my baby. What's in a frisky dingo? Bacardi, bourbon, amaretto, which I don't have, but I could maybe use my macadamia one. Orange juice, lemon juice, grenadine. That would also be quite sweet with all those juices and stuff in it. Don't think I'll do that one. What's everyone up to here? Oh, Strictly Saggy, you're back. I'm just trying to decide on a bourbon cocktail to make. 4th of July, Booth Cafe. Oh, that was the last page. Okay. So, what's it? An epiphany. Everyone wants an epiphany. Bourbon creme de mure. I've got that. And apple juice. It just sounds slightly boring. I don't know. Try another one. A Flaming Henry. That's a good name. Jody May. Horse's Neck with a Kick. That's a good name. Klondike. Mississippi Schnapper. Okay. I like that name. Good look. What's a Mississippi Schnapper? Bourbon, cognac, triple sec, lime juice, and sweetener. Ooh. So, yeah, that's similar to a Sazerac, but without the absinthe. It's going to be much sweeter with a triple sec and sugar syrup. No, I don't think I'll make that one. What's a mountain cocktail? Bourbon, vermouth, and egg white. That's just a Manhattan with egg white. Oh, yes, perfect Manhattan, smooth by egg white. There you go. New York. What's a New York? Bourbon, apple schnapps, vermouth, and bitters. So I need to feel inspired. Oh, there you go. Strictly say you're looking up Chambord ones. Yeah. I mean, I could help you with this one as well. Vietnavine. Oh, that sounds like it's related to a Vieux Carré. It says Calvados brandy, bourbon, Zooth, bitters, and bitters. So it's like a Manhattan with apple brandy, basically. A whiskey squirt. That sounds a bit rude. Ooh, a wolf ticket. That's a very cool sounding one. What does it sound like? A peach with bourbon music and peach liqueur, and that's a sweet, fruity bourbon. No, I don't want that. A Zhivago. What's a Zhivago? Dr. Zhivago. Vodka, bourbon, apple, sour apple, lime juice, sugar syrup. Yeah. Nah, I don't want to make that one. A boomerang. My boomerang will come back. Which was a really racist novelty song in the 70s that I heard heaps. Ooh, here we go. Bourbon, Benedictine, white creme de cacao, hot pepper sauce. An Aztec. Now that sounds interesting. I might swap out hot pepper sauce with a bar spoon of my chili liqueur. See, now this one's got me. I might do this one. I'm just going to look at one or two more before I make a final decision. Anesthetic. How strong is that anesthetic? It's bourbon, creme de menthe, Benedictine, anisette. Lots of bitters. Yeah, I might make that another time. Still liking the sound of an Aztec at this point. Oh, an American breakfast. What the heck's in an American breakfast? Maple syrup and bourbon. Sure, it's meant to be like bacon and maple syrup, I suppose. All right, thinking I'm making an Aztec. What's an Alcazar? Alcazar's bourbon, triple sec, Fernet Branca. I'm still leaning towards... I'll make this Alcazar another time. Still leaning towards an Aztec at this point. A boomerang. Boomerang has bourbon, maraschino, vermouth, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and Angostura bitters. So, yeah, that's another spin on a Manhattan, a sweet Manhattan. Maybe another time. Borderline and Bourbonella, that's a good name. Later to Barbarella, that's bourbon whiskey, triple sec, vermouth, grenadine. A fruity Manhattan. Again, I might make it another time. Oh, a cruel intention. Gotta love something called a cruel intention. Bourbon, apricot, amaretto. I don't have apricot or amaretto. And juices. Donut, egg custard, and Embassy Royal. It's the last one I'm going to look at. What's an Embassy Royal? Bourbon, Drambuie, vermouth, and orange juice. No, I reckon I'm making an Aztec, actually. Strictly say, just a Chambord ice vodka tonic. That sounds like a fine drink. Annette, you're sick of this week. It's almost over. Friday tomorrow. I got some stupid meetings and I got to finish writing something. I'll survive. Might go to Costco tomorrow. Got to get a couple things. Who knows what they've in stock. Maybe I get it. But surely all the supermarkets are stable with toilet paper now. Surely Costco will have toilet paper. They haven't had toilet paper for the last month. And the supermarkets have had a stable supply of toilet paper for a couple of weeks now. Adele, you topped up Opie's cat toy with catnip. Woo, stoner cat. Neither of my cats are sort of affected by catnip. Not all cats are. Yes, April has been the worst millennium, Megaleech. Absolutely, definitely. Yes, meetings. Holy cow, Petty Wallaby, you're doing 12-hour night shifts in a row. Jesus. That's cruel. That is very cruel. Man, that's for another day. So I'm thinking of doing another of those comparison videos with the cheap bourbons and the expensive bourbons, but with a more complex drink that will maybe mask the bourbons more. And this one, the Aztec, has bourbon, Benedictine, white creme de cacao, and I'm going to put just a bit of the chili liqueur in. Yars. Okay, now I wanted to make this video. I'm tempted to do my shirt and tie and vest again like I did for Formal Friday last week. It's like, maybe I could make that my thing for cocktails, that I'm always dressed up for them. I don't know if I can be bothered doing that, though. And then if I wait till tomorrow night, the video is not going live till Saturday night, and I haven't put a video. I've been really slack. I haven't put any videos up this week. That's bad. I should be doing that. So Was it a whiskey daisy? It was a bourbon, triple sec, grenadine. Okay. Okay, a belated message from AIDzee at this point. What is he saying? Okay. So we may be getting an AIDzee back now. Okay. Okay. If Annette, you agree I should dress up. Hello, Locust Trooper. How are you? Stella, yes. Still lots of flour there. Mrs. Angry, young Ms. Angry, I should say, hasn't made bread in a little while. She's been baking, though. We had lasagna. Oh, my God. She does this really rich bolognese sauce. She made like she chopped up all those fresh ingredients to go in it, and with wine. So I like go out and buy a bottle of cheap white wine that she can use for the cooking. And the joy of bottle shops, you can always get a bottle of wine for $5. And she makes it so, and you have this chicken stock and stuff in there. And when she initially makes it, there's a lot of liquid in there, but she boils it down for a couple of hours. So, 90% of the liquid evaporates, and the taste is so fucking good. It's so rich. Like we'd been having spaghetti bolognese, but she went the whole hog and made a lasagna yesterday. Oh my God, it was good. It was really good. As she's like her bolognese sauce is so rich. It's fantastic. And she made some chocolate biscuits today. Cookies. It's good. How am I handling the lockdown, Locust Trooper? I'm doing fine, actually. Now, AIDzee just texted me and said he's going to rejoin us. So I was going to maybe go off and put on my cocktail outfit, but I'll wait 5 or 10 minutes. This is the thing with him. I'll wait 5 or 10 minutes and he won't show up, and then I'll go and do it and he'll show up while I'm out. The way of things. So, but we shall see. It'd be good if he was here, because then I could disappear for 5 minutes, put on my fancy cocktail clothes, and come back, and he could entertain you fine people while I'm doing that. So we'll see. We'll give him a few minutes, see if he actually does reappear. There's a pending message. Fuck knows. Ready when you are. We shall see what he does. Oh, you just noticed my alcohol, Locust Trooper. Yes. There's a lot of it. There, look, I'll adjust. No, actually, I'll adjust. I'll sit here. There you go. Yes. That's so I can make lots of varied cocktails. That's what's going on there. This angle's probably making my head look even more enormous. But that's the thing. Just got a huge head. There's no getting around it. Yes. There's a lot there. Give you a heart attack with all those things. Yeah, there's a lot. It's like 50 different things there. Takes a long time. Either you're really rich, which I'm not, or takes you a long time to build up a collection like that. Like it took me a year, 18 months to get close to that. Like I've been sort of building that collection up over the last 2 years. But yet, just, buying a couple of bottles now and then, it takes a year to 18 months to get a decent collection going. Because if you buy a lot at once, you're going to be fucking broke, particularly with Australian prices, depending what you get, 40 to 60 dollars a bottle, or even more for special ones. Oh, Stella, you've gone off the flower. Now you want the booze. There you go. Have I ever evaluated my collection? I mean, I could do it quickly. Let's count the bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 58, 58, 54. Okay, there's actually about 60 bottles. There's about 60 bottles there. Yikes. Even I am taken aback by that. Yes, Mrs. Angry is fine, Locust Trooper. What's AIDzee saying now? One audio message.
But I will work it out, and when I do,
Is
you and I and all the others will have so much of the fun. It will be ridiculous. Okay, see you soon.
All right. So, unsurprisingly, he continues to have technical problems, but we might see him soon. This is angry as very because I don't drink at all. Like, there was a joke. I shared a picture with people at work, and they go, "Oh, those all the bottles." The same bottles stay there for a very long time. In fact, I decided to start keeping a spreadsheet of them at the start of February. Start of February, because I thought, how much of these am I actually drinking? Because I don't think it's that much, but maybe it is. But I thought I could actually keep a record of it. So I've been tracking them. What? Another message from AIDzee. What does he have to say? Hey. And literally just texted, hey. So okay. I very much enjoy making cocktails, been seriously into it for the last 2 or 3 years, getting reasonably good at it. Yeah, okay. So it's interesting. We're trying to guess. That's probably at least $3,000 worth of booze, except a lot. Then the bottles aren't all full, so technically it's not that much. But then also over the last 2 years, I've bought and drunk other ones, so it's a bit of an amorphous thing. How much worth of booze do I have? Because I mean, some of those bottles are full or nearly full. Some are half full. Some are 3/4 empty. So it's when we start saying how much worth of booze is that, it's a bit of a rubbery number. It's a bit elastic. So it's a bit like that. Yes. So, that's a lot. There's about 60 bottles of stuff there. Yikes! And it's mostly different stuff. Although I've got 4 different. Again, Catherine, that question: how much a week trip do I spend on booze? Well, you're limited now. You go to like Dan Murphy's, you can only buy 2 bottles. But even on, if I was feeling extravagant, I was going, I need to get some new stuff. I might get 3 or 4 bottles of different spirits and liqueurs. But Or do you know? Yeah. Look at mail. Oh, no thanks. That's I was wondering what account I had set up on here, and I hadn't been checking. It's my cocktail channel on YouTube. Okay. Ha! Ruh-roh. Okay, so that answers that question for me. -3 degrees and sunny. Good Lord. Yeah, there's a bit of rain moving through here today. Well, see, like a stripper is my money. As you pointed out, I do earn a decent amount of money, and it's built up over time. If I just went out and bought $3,000 worth of booze, even I would think that was outlandish. Although, you know, arguably I can afford to, but it just, you know, it's you know, spaced out. Buying all those is spaced out over, you know, 2 years essentially. I mean, some, you know, some I use more of than others, like the bourbon and the vodka, and to a lesser extent the gin. You know, those are the staples. But lots of the other ones go very slowly. Yes, interesting. Like I said, I was keeping a spreadsheet of the drinks, and since the start of February, I think that's when I started doing it. February, yeah, it was the start of February. The only one I've actually finished was the bottle of vermouth I bought, and you kind of have to finish vermouth within about 2 months because it starts to turn even if you refrigerate it. So, and it was very nice quality Australian vermouth, so I didn't want it to go yucky. So, I did finish it. Actually, something's supposed to get delivered tomorrow from Dan Murphy's, a very different Australian vermouth that I'm trying purely on speculation, and we'll see what that is like. Exactly like a strip. You spend that much on a gaming computer in a year, whereas I don't. So yeah, we all have our hobbies. It's not alcoholism, it's hobbies. I keep, you know, I'm going to be waiting forever if I wait for AIDzee. I know. Okay, I'm not going to make the comparative video tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. Kind of annoyed, but I might make a cocktail. Oh, okay. I know, because for where are we? We're strictly Sega with a Chambord. I'm gonna look up Chambord cocktail for you. Liqueur. What do we have? China. Chambord. By vermouth. Champagne? No? Okay. I'm just going to search. Chambord. Surely they have something with Chambord in it. Chambord vodka liqueur. Okay, that's weird. I'm gonna search Chambord cocktail. Zipper. What do you drink with Chambord? Make me a cocktail. That's a pretty good site. Okay. A raspberry martini, cosmopolitan, French horde, margarita. Okay. While I have fun recommending drinks to people who have various things, if you're looking for inspiration, go to a website called makemeacocktail.com, and you can just put what you have on hand, and not just booze, not just mixes, even things you have in your pantry, because it's amazing what can go in a cocktail. You put everything that you have on hand into this little checklist they have, and then you click make me a cocktail, and they tell you all the cocktails you can make with the ingredients you have. It's very good. And yes, Locust Trooper, there's been some very disturbing racism towards Chinese and Asian people generally, because of mutants who are, it's your fault that we've got this coronavirus, which is dumb. Even if you wanted to say that the Chinese government done bad things and concealed the truth and made it more likely that the disease was going to spread, you would not be particularly wrong. But that's no reason to be fucking harassing the Chinese people. What's he doing now? Bing, bing, bing. They've even having these things. He loves sending me random things. You need to tell the people. Right. I'm going to make, because it's Shakespeare Day, the Merchant of Venice cocktail, which is just a little bit different. Actually, I'm going to check if my egg whites still say. Adele, a fine and dandy. I like the sound of a fine and dandy. What's in a fine and dandy? Oh, well, I check on a couple of ingredients. On my legs. I'm old. I wear my trousers rolled. What's the date on this? It's probably fine. Probably fine. He said, risking death. Yes, you're right, Megaleech. Australians of Asian descent. People have been here for generations. Right, so ingredients I need for a Shakespeare commemorative thing. Here we go, my sweetener, Aperol, or other aperitivo, lemon juice, and vodka. Stir honey with vodka in base of shaker to dissolve. Saying orange blossom honey. I'm just going to use this thing. Actually, maybe I've got a special honey. I probably don't, but I might. I don't know what's in the pantry. Hello. There's someone looking for something in the house. What are you looking for? Oh, okay. What could I get you to drink? Or are you going to get it yourself? All right, then, well, the water's over there. This is what happens when you do your live streams in the kitchen. People want to come here. So, Adele, the fine and dandy is gin, lemon juice, triple sec bitters, shake with ice. Nice. Very nice. That does sound good. Locust Strip, what do I think the economy will be like after this? It's going to take about 2 years to recover, and the fucking clowns running the federal government at the moment will definitely 100% take exactly the wrong message from what we've learned in this little shutdown. And they're going to cut pay rates, cut worker protections, give big companies tax breaks. Even though we know again and again from evidence that doesn't help the economy. What helps the economy is giving people good wages, because people are the economy. These fucking companies that just hide the money in offshore tax havens are not the economy. But Morrison and his brutal fucking ship of fools will just fuck everyone over. Okay, I'm going to have a quick look if I have a nice honey. I probably just got really standard honeys. Let me have a look. Peanut butter. Because mountain honey. Oh. Strong and bitey. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do strong and bitey Beechworth honey. I don't know. That sounds like a bloody deal to me. AIDzee's pinging again because his brain doesn't work. Yep. Okay. Simple interactions. Occasionally a real but. Okay. Oh no, this one's not open yet. How much is in the other one? Ugh. I'm such a putz. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I reckon I'll try it with this honey. Beechworth mountain honey that says it's strong and bitey. I mean, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? That sounds enticing. Luxury, but I don't think welfare will so much be cut. I think they'll make life absolutely miserable for people on any form of support. Yes.
Does that get you more audio and video?
Why are you doing this and not going on the StreamYard?
Because I can't get onto the StreamYard.
Why can't you? It was working before.
I can try it again.
Well, it was working before. I don't understand what the problem is.
So this is the one, you sent me the link, I got on it, everything was fine.
Yeah.
I'll go and have another shot at it.
Yeah, you just went away because you were doing weird stuff. But yeah, give it a go.
Oh, all right. Yes, there was a little bit of jelly involved.
Yes. Yeah. So just try the link I texted you.
And I have to stop the jelly.
Yes, definitely. See you soon. This is the timing. Okay, so I need my shaker, which is easy enough. Now I might chill a glass because I'm a fucking professional. Put that in there. Chill. Because it'll take me a hot minute to get organised. I want this. I want my giant bottle of Costco vodka, which is about 2/3 gone. Although some of it's in another thing. So there's my Italian bitter cherry aperitif and lemon juice. And I'm going to be really gauche and use bottled lemon juice. Great, lemon juice. Okay. Oh, yes. Got egg white, got my measuring jigger. We're all good. Locust Trooper, because I'm not having him on FaceTime because I hate holding up the phone, basically. Leatherwood honey from Tasmania, Bellissimo. Good tip, Stella. Oh. Right, now, so measurements. Now, their recommendation is to mix the honey with the vodka before you shake anything. So where did I put my... I didn't pick up the shaker. What is wrong with me? Okay, shaker. I get distracted so easily. Okay, shaker. So how much honey? 2 spoons. That is such a vague measure. 2 spoons. Do you mean the actual cooking measure? I'm going to do 2 bar spoons. So 1. Ooh, this is a very thick honey. That makes the farty noise at the end. Ooh, this is a very thick and rich honey right here. All right, and again, making the farty noise. That's probably enough. 2 bar spoons of a very thick and rich honey. Like Jerry Harvey, thick and rich. That is very flavorful. Right, how much vodka am I meant to put in? 2 shots. Healthy dose of vodka. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, 1. There we go. Almost a bit out of control there. This heavy bottle is very awkward to manage. Was it half a shot of the aperitivo, half a shot of lemon juice, half a shot of egg white? That's pretty easy. Half a shot of all the other things. Just got to mix this up. Oh, let's chat. Let's chat while I mix this up. Stella, you got to go, do you? Good night. Adele. No, it's Adele who's going. Early night, crappy week, exhausted. Self-care is important when you have to go. Share Megalith think the farty noise was actually me. Like, where did I get the skills to yell so loud? Well, I could say it's natural, but I do actually have theatrical training. I learned how to project for the theatre. I was actually trained in projecting my voice. But, you know, there's a bit of an art to it. It's practice, like anything. Do it lots. So now I've got a very sweet honeyed vodka going on in here. All right, I reckon that's actually pretty good. I would not do this if I was making it. You know, I don't know if you can tell I'm using my finger to wipe honey off the bar spoon. Would not do that if I was making it for someone else, but I'm making it for myself, so it doesn't matter. So, half a shot of this rather nice bitter cherry flavored aperitivo from Italy. I think it's Italian. Or is it French? Is Dolan French? Oh, yeah, it's French. For some reason I thought it was Italian. Dolan is French. There you go. I'm an Egypt. And you saw the ABC Coronacast got in late show with Stephen Oh, yes. The ABC doctor guy was on Stephen Colbert's show. I heard that. Yes. Oh, Locust Trooper, you can absolutely train you. If you really want to project, it has to come from the diaphragm. A lot of people make the mistake of like yelling from here, which is why your throat gets sore. And even I have a problem with that. But you got to project from your diaphragm. You absolutely can be trained to yell. And I was. Right, so I put that in. I need to put lemon juice and egg white in. And then we do the dry shake, which I always think sounds a bit rude, honestly. Where's my jigger? Half shot lemon juice. And half shot of the egg white that hopefully hasn't gone off and will kill me. If it happens, remember, you were here, you saw it. Definitely should throw this out there. Do the completely unscientific. No, doesn't smell of anything. Good. So it's probably not going to kill me. All right. Egg white to make it nice and foamy. Do. He answered the question, can farts pass on the coronavirus? Well, don't leave us in suspense, Annette. What was the answer? Can farts pass on the coronavirus? It's a question we need the answer to. So, first we do the dry shake, which is what you call when you shake with no ice. Because there's 2 reasons to shake a cocktail. The obvious one is to mix it. But there's also, if you're shaking with ice, to chill it and even dilute it a little bit, particularly if it's a spirit-heavy cocktail. But egg white foams up better if you shake it without ice. But then we still need to chill it. So after doing the dry shake, we are going to do a wet shake. Get a handful of ice and put it in here. Oh, Safa, eggs are great for cocktails. Egg whites for sours and other things. And the egg yolk, cocktails that have an egg yolk are usually called a flip. Oh, so the coronavirus can be passed on through farts, but the pants act like a mask, reducing the risk. So a Dutch oven could actually be deadly. Wow. Gosh. But noisy shake because there's ice in here now. And that gets like, it's like, you can tell it's chilled because it actually gets a little bit painful to hold your shaker. Yeah, my hands are really cold now. I love how Annette and Stella said at the same time, a Dutch oven would be deadly. All right, my glass could have done with being chilled longer. And it's, you know, nicely chilled. And we're going to strain the Merchant of Venice. Oh, it's a wonderful masculine pink color. This is the sort of drink that the weirdos lose their shit over me drinking. Why they care what I do is beyond me. But they get upset that I drink unmasculine drinks. And this one's very pink. I love it. I think it looks a bit more sort of orangey peachy on camera. In real life, it's a bit more rose colored, but that's why, see that little foamy head? That's why I love using egg whites in cocktails, because you get that nice foamy head on them. Oh, that's really good. It's very light. This is a very, very light, very bright drink. There's nothing very heavy in it. Not sure if I can taste the honey. Obviously, there's no real taste from vodka. I think the lemon and the honey have counteracted the bitterness from the Dolan Bitter de Chambre. It's just like it lets these really light, fruity colors come through. Oh, this is actually really nice. This is a summer sipper. This is a summer sip. Nicely chilled on a hot day. God, I'd probably neck this on a hot day, actually. Like, Strip, what do I think of who in China government cover up? The Chinese government definitely covered up what was happening. World Health Organization did not. People say, look what they said on this date and look what they said on this date. That's called learning new information. Yeah, the people slagging off the World Health Organization are ignorant, full of shit, and no idea what they're talking about. So saying Dan Murphy does home delivery now. They've always done home delivery, actually. It's just they're really getting into it now. I'm getting a delivery from Dan Murphy tomorrow. That's like top and tail of the week. I got my old-fashioned delivered from them on Monday, and the other one I ordered is supposedly coming tomorrow. It's an Australian vermouth, Blanco vermouth. Abigail, it is good. This is a really nice drink. Yes, it is very nice. Relatively easy to make. Nothing very outlandish in it. There's vodka. Any of these, there are a huge amount of these red bitter aperitivos on the market, mostly Italian. The recipe recommended Aperol, which I have and I like, but I felt like trying it with this one, which is like cherry flavored. But there are a whole range of those bitter. There are Australian made bitter aperitivos, and they're apparently quite good too. So that's just 2 ounce, 60 mils of vodka, 2 shots of vodka, half a shot of the bitter aperitivo whichever one you choose to use. If you don't have anything like this and you're thinking of getting a bit adventurous, I really recommend it. Start with something milder like Aperol. Don't get my fucking nemesis, the thing that's in a Negroni, and I hate it so much I keep forcing its name out of my brain and I keep forgetting it. But yes, some of them are very, very, very bitter. Start with something milder, but it's a really versatile drink component. So that's basically 2 ounces, 2 shots of vodka, half a shot of the bitter aperitivo, half a shot of lemon juice. That's at a couple spoons of honey, but that's any sweetener, honey, or make your own sugar syrup. Or I got this from Costco. It's for cooking, agave syrup. But it's like 1-to-1 sugar syrup. Make your own sugar syrup. Boil it up on the stove in a pot. There are plenty of good guides online. 50% sugar, 50% water. Or, if you just have anything else, maple syrup, golden syrup, little bit of treacle or something. They all have their own profile. Thank you, Kirsten Campari. I have cast Campari from my brain because I hate it. Campari would be too much. Campari is really bitter. And Campari is persona non grata in this house, quite frankly. So this is pretty simple. 2 shots vodka, half a shot of the bitter aperitivo, half a shot of lemon, a spoon or 2 of a sweetener, sugar syrup, honey, whatever, and 1 egg white. Or if you're like me and have a carton of egg white, which is really gauche, you do half a shot to a shot of egg white. Just, 1 egg white if you're doing it from eggs. And then shaky, 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 and it's fucking good. Oh, what are we talking about? The World Health Organization. Video on YouTube, member of who is talking to a reporter from Taiwan. All of a sudden, he hung up the Skype call. No, I didn't. But Megalicha sent me the link, so I will see it later. Doesn't Parliament House have a bar? Probably. Pollies get discounts on alcohol. Yeah, taxpayer-subsidized alcohol, definitely. And they're probably shit-faced when they're in the fucking Parliament. Like Tony Abbott notoriously missed an important vote because, and I'm not making this up, Tony Abbott missed an important vote because he was passed out pissed in his office. So that is, as they say, a known thing that happened. So this again, in case you forgot, this was to mark, it's Shakespeare Day, anniversary of Shakespeare's death, possibly also his birth. This cocktail was called A Merchant of Venice. And their comments are the richness and flavor of honey, along with the distinctive taste of Aperol, jointly balanced lemon citrus notes in this majestic vodka basing. Okay, so you don't get actual flavor from the vodka, but the balance of the sour lemon, the bitter aperitif, and the sweetener is just great. And the egg white gives it this beautiful texture. It is a really good balance. Striking that balance with bitter, sour, and sweet is quite good. Felipe, what's not glamorous? Oh, sorry. You're saying the bar in Parliament House is not glamorous. No, Safra, I don't think Abbott was Prime Minister when he was pissed and missed a vote. But I think the Libs were in government, and it was actually quite important that he was there for the vote, and he missed it because he was passed out pissed in his office. Oh, Philip, you're saying you've been to the Parliament bar and it's more like a cafe. There you go. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Tony Abbott. I've mistyped that. Abbott. Drunk. Tony Abbott admits missing key vote in Parliament because he was drunk. Drunk and passed out. This was in 2017. So when Turnbull was PM. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has dressed down his predecessor, Tony Abbott, for missing a series of key parliamentary votes in 2009. So the event happened in 2009 because he was drunk, passed out on a couch. After years of rumours, Mr. Abbott finally admitted he was asleep after a long night of drinking when several bills associated with the... this is when Rudd was in government, when the vote was happening. Turnbull's opposition leader at the time. Opposition whips tried to rouse him to get him to come in the chamber, but they were unable to move him. So, yes, that was the thing that happened in 2009. Tony Abbott was too drunk to vote. Look, Stripper, no, someone asked a question about the Turnbull book. I have not read the Turnbull book. I'm not going to read the Turnbull book. I'm not going to read reviews of the Turnbull book. I'm not going to read the Turnbull book if someone gives it to me for free. I have better things to do with my time than waste hours of my life with that self-serving, spineless fucking prick. And yes, Justin, I have seen Republicans and their supporters saying I should be allowed to die if I want to. They're just so, because they don't think it's going to happen to them. And honestly, that's a relatively safe bet. When the overall numbers, like a year, 18 months, 2 years from now, who knows if by that time we have a vaccine or effective treatment or there's something else that we have to fucking worry about at that point. In the US, by that stage, nearly everyone will have been infected. At this point, we can guess. We don't know. It's a guess. The ultimate fatality rate will probably be between 1 and 3%. And the American population, that means 3 to 10 million people dying over the next 2 years. That's a reasonable bet. It could be much less. The fatality rate could be under 1%. Even if it was half of 1% of the population, that's 1.5, 2 million people. That's still a lot of people. Could be worse. I don't think it'll be worse. It's possible. There's just too much we don't know. There's too much we don't know. But barring a miracle over the next 2 years, at least 1 to 3 million Americans will die. At least. Barring a miracle. And I only see signs of things getting worse there. I don't see any sign of things getting better. The lockdown's working for us. It looks like there'll be some easing in May, and other things will progressively be eased over the coming months. But I don't think we'll get a significant loosening until summer. I think they're going to be too worried about winter. Like the flu season in Australia usually peaks in August, September even. And because there's so many unknowns here, I don't think we'll see significant easing of restrictions until summer. Is AIDzee going to make an appearance bookend the show? At this point, I'm going to say no. Nothing's impossible. If he rings up again, I will put him on FaceTime. Or maybe I should ring him and put him on FaceTime. I don't know. Abigail, I've got to go. Fly safe. See you soon, hopefully. Justin, you think Biden's actual strategy is to have the opposition voters kill themselves? That could work. It honestly could work. Felipe, you think the death toll will be less because younger people don't show symptoms? Quite possibly. It's just that there are literally so many things we don't know. Any prediction is a blind guess now. You know, hey, fuck it, I don't know. Maybe ultimately, because of the number of people who will ultimately be asymptomatic, maybe the long-term fatality rate will be 0.1%. I don't know. I don't know. It's too fucking weird. Lex Trip, do I think we'll be able to go interstate by the end of May? I'm going to say no. End of June, possibly. And see, if we keep doing really well, like, new cases, absolutely stagnating, if we maintain that, and that the government ministers have already said their strategy effectively. It's like, okay, if we get all the cases in hospital leveled out, they're already gearing up for a massive testing regime because they want to test basically everyone, including people who have no symptoms. And then it will and then the borders are going to stay shut, but then interstate travel and commerce will be 100% go, and that will help some recovery in the local economy. We're heavily dependent on international travel, so the economy is still going to get a kicking until international travel is happening again. Yeah, it's I guess, Toriana, I've seen that report as well, that there are possible blood and organ issues, not just lung and respiratory issues. But like I said, there's just too much we don't know. Elder people acting like, what we see today, what we know today, that's it. Like, there are this many cases. That's it. It's like, no, we are still in the very early stages of the beginning of this process. Failing the miracle of a vaccine or effective treatment being found safe in the next year, and the odds are against us. The odds are actually against us. And but, the wishful thinking that we get a vaccine, we get an effective treatment in the next 6-12 months. But I don't know, there's just so much we don't know. Oh, that's true. They were saying the rugby league's going to start again on May 28th. That will be without crowds. It'll be a very long time, definitely at least until summer would be my bet, before they allow major events to happen. So if the sporting things start up again, it'll be without crowds. But even without crowds, a major sports match like that, that's putting 100 people in a high-risk situation. So I would say basically the rules, if they're going to bring these major sports events back, it's everyone involved will have to be tested and get the results back before they're allowed to attend a match. And then anyone who shows any sign of illness, like even just a cold, a runny nose, they're going to have to isolate for 2 weeks and get tested again. I basically think there will be a very serious testing regimen to go with this sport starting up. I think what they'll do for us poor plebs is relax the social restrictions, not with anything like bars or pubs, but, being able to have people over at your house without it being naughty. but not a huge number, like maybe 10, maybe 5. I don't know. Who knows? Yes, Toriana, that is a perfectly good point. We won't have proper peer-reviewed, well-researched papers with all the data until everyone's been infected. 2 years, 3 years down the track, we'll know the full story because we'll have lived it. Now, Kirsten, you've actually had the test. Yes, for those who don't know, the most common test for the coronavirus is a fucking swab that goes up your nose, pushed into your brain. Well, into the back of your throat through the nasal cavity. It goes fucking way back here. And apparently it's fucking awful. Awful. It's just, oh, no. But, yeah, I'm shuddering thinking about it. Like, yeah, when the time comes to get tested, I guess I'll get tested. But I'm not fucking looking forward to it. Jesus. That's not good. Stella, you're not keen on Tinder dates starting up again. Oh, damn. Yeah. So, okay, Kirsten's I've seen the profile, like this long ass swab goes right the fuck back in your nasal to the back of your throat. And apparently it's awful. Yes, true, Stella. It's not a pap smear. One of the closest guys get to that, like prostate exams, where the doctor goes up your butt. Oh God, speaking of which, government wants my poop. That's a fun thing that happens when you turn 50. The government says, hey, we want your poop. It's like there's this really stupid process you have to go through to catch your poop and then stick this swab in it and then stick that in a little sample thing and send it to the government. So it's this tiny, basically, this tiny little bloody sample that you're sending them. But I figure if that does them some good, I'm just going to get like a jar and just shit in it and send them a jar of shit, because that's bound to be useful. If this tiny little sample tells them anything, then a whole jar full of shit, just a gold mine of information for them. No, the government would not like it if I did that, so I probably won't actually do that, because I don't think that would end well for me, quite honestly. There is that, Toriana. I think if you're showing no symptoms, they might just do the pinprick blood test, and that's testing if you've got antibodies. But if you look sick, they'll do the fucking swab up your sinuses, because you would A, need to isolate, B, might need medical treatment. I'm not sure how long they take. South Korea are probably the people to ask, because they got super fucking efficient. I mean, apparently Vietnam is reporting 0 deaths, and they fucking share a border with China, and they're reporting 0 deaths. Not sure if I believe that. I'm not sure if they're A, being totally honest, and B, have enough data to confidently say there have been no cases. It's somewhat fascinating that Vietnam are saying they have literally 0 deaths. Grain of salt, I think. Again, Vietnam's not as totalitarian as China or North Korea, but they do have a, communist in name government who practice very quite stringent central control of life in the country. So who knows? Who absolutely knows? Not me. There are so many unknowns. And it'll be a while before we know more. So I'm looking at doing the old thing that I can't resist doing, I do every live stream, is looking at the numbers from the Johns Hopkins website. Okay, the US has got up to 4.5 million people tested now. So more than 1% of their population finally. With 850,000 confirmed cases, 46,000 deaths. Yikes. And what are we up to in Australia? Oh, it's also confusing how this works. Australia, 6,500 confirmed cases. They're still only saying 67 confirmed deaths, whereas the media here was saying 71 or 72 the other day. Yeah. Big question. So, yeah, when's Australia going to hit 100 deaths? Will it be? Yeah, the US is going to hit 50,000 before we hit 100. What's this thing? Critical trends. Tracking critical data. Ooh, they've got a new US map. What does that show us? Cases by county. There you go. Ooh, you see all the hotspots in the US. Ooh, it's all just, who fucking knows? Well, we did not get any more AIDzee. Yes, the NT hasn't had a confirmed case in weeks. Other places are only getting a couple confirmed cases a day in Australia. Yeah. So if you're saying 75 new cases in Australia, that seems high. Oh, is that because we got some people come back in the country? Wait a second. I'll look up the ABC news websites. Victoria Police, yes, there's coppers who got killed. Tasmania has the most COVID-19 cases per capita. There you go. Okay, this would be like a summary of Australia. Updated 22 April. For the first time in 6 weeks, New South Wales has relinquished the grim title of most confirmed cases per resident. Tasmania has 200 confirmed infections, the equivalent of 37.5 infections per 100,000 residents, which again is still really, really, really low, considering without vaccine, the World Health Organization and other medical people have kind of assumed that a significant majority of the population will get the virus over the next year or two in the absence of a vaccine. And if currently Australia, we are getting, God, that's like less than 0.1% of the population infected, which is wild. More than half of Tasmania's cases are associated with an outbreak in the state's northwest. Oh, look at it. We had that really sharp rise between... I'll show you this chart that's on the ABC site just before I go to bed, because I do in fact want to go to bed. Share my Chrome tab from the ABC. Yeah, so you see, where are we here? Mid-March, like 500 cases. The 17th of March, 455 cases. Then 564. Then so mid-March, we go from 500 cases to start of April, 6,000. At the end of the first week of April, 6,000 cases. So, I mean, look, even the end of the first week of March 7th, we only had 72 cases in just 1 month. 7th April, we go up to almost 6,000 cases. So basically in 1 month, almost 100 times more infections. But then, again, the next couple of weeks in April, we're still only at 6,500. We're doing good. 651. So on the 22nd, 651. On the 23rd, 659. So only 8 new cases in 1 day. So, but I mean, this is exponential growth. You go the end of the first week in March, only 72 cases. End of the first week in April, 6,000 cases. Like almost 100 times more cases in 1 month. That's why you got to fucking social distance, people. That's why we got to do it, because of that shit. Toriana, you liked my bin photo. For those who don't know, you go on Facebook. There is a really fun group that's got like 1 million members in it now called Isolation Bin Outing, because with isolation, the only outing we get is taking the bins out. So people dress up to put the bins out. This week, I dressed up as the Grim Reaper to put the bin out. So, yeah. So we'll agree March was pretty scary. Yes, Toriana, we are facing the risk of, oh, see, there was never a problem, because our distancing, isolation, etc. works. And if you stop doing it, it's going to go. I mean, I don't want to say just that things are going so bad for America. That's like our benchmark. Like, oh, if you don't fucking keep this up, it's going to be America. Okay, yeah. Yes, I saw your photo, Mega Leech, the like time lapse in your onesie. It's very good. Kirsten, you got put in quarantine in March 10. Yeah, just at the start of the scary month. Look, hopefully it's going to be weird, because the border's going to be shut until there's a vaccine, or a year, whichever comes first. Basically, because the damage to the economy of tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people dying in a really short time frame who otherwise wouldn't have died is more damaging to the economy than the shutdown we're having, because you'd end up with a shutdown anyway, because that sort of thing would just fuck everything up. So we've just got to hope that common sense maintains to some degree. What's probably going to happen is too many restrictions will get eased in Australia, and we'll get a really sudden spike. We'll have March all over again. We'll have another really sudden spike in cases, and it'll take a couple of weeks to react to that. And then there'll be another clampdown. I reckon that is what's most likely going to happen in the next 3 months. There will actually be too many restrictions eased too quickly, and we'll have another surge in cases. Oh, there's the cheery thought for Philip. Will we have a depression? Probably. What's the technical definition of a depression? 3/4 of recession? 4/4 of recession? There's an actual definition of what a depression means. Things are just going to fucking change, basically. And we could benefit a lot if we manage the change properly. I just think the clowns in the Liberal Party are the worst fucking people to be doing it. They'll take exactly the wrong lesson. They'll take exactly the wrong moves. And the majority of the population will suffer. That's a cheery thought. I need to say something more positive. Hi. That wasn't very good, was it? That was not very good. But tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow night's live stream will be Formal Friday. I'm going to do another cocktail comparison live. I'll be recording it for my cocktail channel. Yeah, that'll be fun. Tomorrow will be fun. And yes, and Dan Andrews is good on a state level. Is only 2 quarters in recession is a depression. Jesus. Oh, tomorrow's Anzac Day. See? Fucking time is meaningless. Oh, yes. The interesting thing, Mega Leech, is Mrs. Angry was... again, if you follow me on social media, you would have heard me saying, hey, Mrs. Angry wants another game. Here's the one she likes. What should we get? I was asking for recommendations. Mrs. Angry was already planning to get the one that got a lot of recommendations. Outer Worlds, I think it's called. But basically, her choice was vindicated by the crowd. Oh, okay, Philip, 2 definitions of depression is a decline of real GDP by 10% or 2 years in recession. Okay, cool. 2 quarters downturn is recession. Okay. Subnautica. Yes, I saw that you recommended the small dev one. 2 quarters is a recession, 2 years of a recession is a depression. See, I think what we're going to get is a different economy. There is so much possibility for things to be better for the majority of the population, but it'll be worse for they won't be broke, but it won't be as good for the richest people who fucking control everything. So they'll kick up a fuss, and the Liberals will make everything worse for the majority of the population because they're fuckheads. Do you reckon welfare and disability will be cut? I don't know if they'll be cut. They'll go back to their own levels and they won't increase. What will be more savage, the Liberals have actually made it quite clear they intend to go for really, really savage industrial relations attacks. They are going to go for no such thing as penalty rates, no such thing as benefits, reduction in pay rates, no protections for workers, letting companies do all sorts of evil shit with no oversight, because the Liberal Party are cunts and industrial types who support them are cunts. That's my hot tip. The Liberal Party in the next 6 to 12 months is going to launch an absolutely savage and brutal attack on basic workers' rights. So that's my hot tip. So as soon as we're allowed to gather in large groups, it'll be to have huge fucking protests of what fucks the Liberal Party are. Okay, this is probably a farewell message from AIDzee. Hope he doesn't say anything rude because I'm going to play it for you.
No, I'm afraid I cannot get into this. Men have no patience at all. Women have very little patience for stuff like this, which is basically people moving shit around, tidying it, moving it around.
No, he's unintelligible. That's okay. He's very tired. Okay. So, going to, yes, Locust Trooper, welfare will continue to exist, but they will get rid of the boosts they've put in temporarily for this fucking shutdown, and they will wage war on the people on benefits. They'll make life absolutely miserable for people on benefits because they can't. Anyway, I am going to go to bed. I want to thank you, fine people, for spending time with me. It has, as always, been a pleasure. Sadly, the technologically challenged AIDzee was not particularly successful in being with us. A boss of his house, who is more technically minded, might be with him tomorrow and might fix some things for him. So we might see AIDzee tomorrow for Formal Friday. So dress up. I'll be dressing up. If you're dressing up, I might open up the stream for everyone to jump on webcams. But it's Friday night, so I'm going to make a few. This is just one cocktail tonight. I'm going to make a few cocktails tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Good night, one and all. You are fabulous people. Look after yourselves. Never forget, you're important. You need to look after yourselves. We need to look after each other. Another audio message from AIDzee. What's he saying?
The bed is going to happen for all, I imagine. For if you are shutting down, then everyone is shutting down. Yeah, we had some successive bits there. There's some bits and pieces that work. I'll work on a little bit more tomorrow. And hopefully good shit will come out of it. You have the very best one, sir, and I shall see you as soon as I can. Bye, man.
All right. So that's AIDzee. That's AIDzee's good night message to everyone. So good night, all of you. Hopefully see you again soon. But I'm going to say bye for now.